Hello, my friends, and welcome to Soul Channel, a place where we cultivate clarity, normalize spirituality, and anchor the wisdom that wants to be remembered within us. I'm so excited today. I have a new to me friend who has become a dear friend called Julie Foucht, who had me on her podcast. We had the most amazing conversation. So I'm sure she'll share her podcast at the end. You can go check it out. And so I am honored to have Julie with me. And let me give you a little taste of who she is because she is incredibly special. Julie is a woman, a witch, and a powerful being. That is how she self identifies. And I love it. Her feminine essence calls her weaving magic through the art of feminine business. Now, as somebody who spent 30 years in corporate America, and I know many of my listeners come from that world, we know how vital it is to bring the feminine perspective of doing business into that entity. She has trained her whole life to conjure the work into the world, and she embraces her identity as a witchpreneur. She honors the sacred marriage of divine feminine essence and divine masculine action, and money follows. Today, she teaches wildly different world changers, coaches, teachers, healers, mystics that success, freedom, and financial abundance are inevitable. Julie, welcome. I'm so glad to have
Thank
you
you.
here.
I'm so happy to be here. I think I should have somebody read that back to me once a week. It's just like,
Right?
yeah, reading your own bio is like, oh, yeah, that is what I stand for.
Well, please share a little bit about who you are beyond what I've already shared with the audience. Tell us where you came from, a little bit about your history, um, and how you landed where you're at.
Yeah. So, oh, how much of the story do you want? I was raised in this little tiny mountain town in Southern California. And I had two sisters and two brothers. I'm the oldest. And at one point, um, the three adult daughters were sitting with my dad, and he said, "You know, I think I made a mistake. I raised my boys to get along in the world, and I raised my girls to be taken care of." And all three of us looked at him and said, "Yeah, yeah, that was a mistake." So I was raised in this place of feeling like I couldn't really take care of myself, you
Mm.
know? Um, my brothers started working with my dad when they were like 10 and
Wow.
11. And they were allowed to work at our gas station. I was not. They went out with him and put chains on vehicles who were coming up to our mountain town. They shoveled roofs. They did all kinds of things. And I was allowed to babysit when I was a teenager. And that was about it. And it really led me to this place where I didn't think I could support myself. And of course, in my head, I wasn't aware of that, but in my body and my choices, it showed up. So I married my high school boyfriend who ended up, I guess he always was a little bit of a bully, and he just was a bully throughout our marriage. So
Mm.
physical and emotional um, abuse. And anytime I would get in a place where I'd make a little bit of money, like there'd be these big blow ups, and I'd kind of go into hiding again. And I didn't leave because we had four kids, good Catholic girl. I had four kids, and I didn't think I could support my own children. And at a certain point, it just became super overwhelming. And I had started to work with a psyche. She was a Reiki master. She's a really powerful psychic. And I had a conversation with my highest self during one of my sessions. And I said to my highest self, but can I stay in this marriage? Really, can I? And she said, of course, you have choice. You can stay, you'll die, but you can stay,
Oh my
or you
God.
can leave and you can live your life finally. And
Yeah.
so I left, and I had a spiritual awakening at that point. Um, I remembered that I could connect with the spirit world. I remembered that, um, I could see the spirits that had passed beyond. I remembered that I could connect with the goddesses and with the divine she that is so missing from the religious upbringing that I had. And I just started down this pathway, and the more that I followed the string, the wider things opened. When I first started coaching, you'll love this. Can I cuss on your show?
Yes.
Okay. So my business name was Kick Ass Biz Coaching. And I talked about funnels and websites and how to network. And then I would secretly pull tarot cards when I was on a coaching call. Or I would say to a client, "Oh, we need to tap into your highest self." And they'd say, "What? Spiritual stuff? We're business coaching."
Yeah.
And finally, I was called out at a high end networking event. Um, and this woman said to me, "You've got to be all of you. You have to say to people you do this woo woo stuff."
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, "Can I do half a woo?" No, no, no. And that was the biggest place in my business. That was the biggest jump, and it was the scariest thing. I cried when I sent the email saying, "Hey, list, here's what I do." But the response I got was people were like, "Oh, I knew there was something. I didn't know what it was. Oh, I'm so happy to hear this. Oh, this is exactly what I need." And I just continue for the last 20 years building my business that way, and being in that alignment with source, which I'm like, I'm human. I'm not always in alignment with source. I can get deep into my own resentments and feelings and fears and all of that, just like the rest of us. But always coming back to that place of, okay, I need to listen to source. I need to stop trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
drop in and listen. And far exceeded, I think, any expectation that my dad ever had for me, and any expectation that I ever had for myself in the process.
Wow. Congratulations. I can absolutely identify with the moment that you move from being a corporate business persona to saying, and I have all of these energy tools and all of this wisdom that resides within me, is a scary point. So congratulations for being courageous. That,
Thank you. I think I was at the point, it was like when I left my first husband, I was at the point where I could not stay anymore and stay alive.
yeah,
And it was the same thing with my business. I was just at the point where I couldn't do it anymore without bringing all of me into it. And that's a scary place because it makes us really, really vulnerable
yeah,
to bring all of it in. And I was like planning to go get a job at Starbucks because I knew that I had just crashed the six-figure business that I had built. It's never going to be the same. And what I discovered was not only did my business grow, but it was so much more joyful and so much more fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think when you step in and authentically be 100% yourself, it allows people to meet you in that space and become 100% authentically themselves, which in turn leads you into a whole new way of doing business. So, how did you begin relating energy and money, um, and not just money as a practical tool?
Oh, what a good question. It's been a long time. Um, I think, I'm sure it must have happened in meditation. And I was at the point where I really, really wanted to understand money better. I had had a couple of really good money teachers.
Hmm.
And I just started to say, hey, can I talk to money? You know, everything is energy. We're all energy. Everything is made up of energy. And the more that I talked to this energy called money, the more I learned about it. The more I learned about the way it flows in the world, the way it wants to flow. Um, and I just have these conversations. And I'll give you an example. I was working with, I had a client who was an insurance agent. And so I was asking the energy of money because I sometimes I will go and talk to energy about my clients. And I was like, well, tell me about this insurance thing. And money was like, oh, it's great because I created this big pot of money and people who are in crisis can borrow from it. And everybody who buys that insurance, they are contributing to the community good of people in who are in crisis. And I thought, what a different way to look at insurance. You know, I had a house fire once, and that community pot helped us to rebuild and to replace toys and underwear and blankets and all the things that we lost. We lost everything in the house fire.
Yeah.
And so I thought, wow, money, that's a really great way. And money's like, you know, most people don't recognize that I just want to be a part of uplifting humanity. And a lot of people don't use money that way,
Yeah.
right? But money really, really, it's an energy that comes from source. Source is here for our highest and best good. We were not born to suffer. Source does not want us to be in pain. And so the creation of this system that we call money is really about how do we flow more source energy, more love into the world to uplift everyone. And when you change looking at money that way, um, it just changes something inside of you. You know, money no longer is this root of all evil or this thing that I need, but I never have enough of, or any of the things we say about money. Money becomes a friend and a partner in helping you to do your soul work in the world and in uplifting the world. So that was a really long answer to your short question.
But you
Got me
went in
going.
so many directions that are so rich because I let's just start at the beginning. I don't think people understand that you can talk to money. It's just like the tree or the person or and that the conversations can be enlightening because as you illustrated, we all have a narrative that we were either fed or that we created, or most likely both, around money.
Yes.
And so I think, how talk more about how money codes these belief
Yeah.
systems, right? That
So,
are limit ourselves.
yes, I love this. I love this. I'm so excited to share with you. So here's what I've discovered since I've been working in the Akashic records. And of course, my work always comes back to getting more money in the hands of more women. It always comes back there. Even when I think I'm going some weird esoteric place, it's like, yes, and let's use this to get more money in the hands of more women who are going to heal the planet.
Yeah.
Um, so here's what I've discovered. The places that what we believe will determine what we receive.
Yeah.
So if you believe that money is the root of all evil and you want to be a good person, you are going to limit the amount of money you have like crazy. And we have to go back and we have to look at, where do these money rules come from? Where do these beliefs come from? We start with that ancestral level. And what did our ancestors believe about money? Where, and wealth and abundance. And I was looking at this for myself because I do the work. And I've always had this money rule about don't outshine the golden child. And in my family, we have a golden child, right? My brother is the golden child. And as I was looking at this, I was taken back in time to a place where the Egyptian king, the pharaoh, was also the sun god.
Yep. Right.
And the story was, if you outshine the sun god, well, you're not going to last long, right? So limit yourself to less than the sun god has. Don't take up space, don't shine, don't have more abundance, right? And so this thing passed down through generations and thousands of years, this rule that it is dangerous to you and it is dangerous to the tribe, it is dangerous to the family to try and have more than the golden child has or the sun god has, right? Mm-hmm. So we have these ancestral rules. And then the second big place, there are 6 of the codes that I've been given. But the other one, there's 2 more I'll talk about. The big one is society's rules. And so many of our rules, especially if you were raised with any kind of religious background, comes from that 4th century when the Catholic Church was trying to consolidate power. And if we look, the Catholic Church is the richest organization in the world by far. And so they were choosing the codes that we would live by. They were choosing what writings would be included in the Bible and in the church. And that's where the idea that money is the root of all evil comes from. And how do we get rid of it? We give it to the church, right? And then we pay our way into heaven by giving money to the church. And so for society's sake, it became very important that people believed that too much money was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that having too much. And that also in the industrial age keeps us as worker bees, right? So that the very, very wealthy has enough people to do the task to continue to create wealth. We have to have beliefs. And these are not things that run through our head, right? They're embedded in our unconscious. So we can't just let go of them. Yeah. So even as we're looking to build, we'll come up to these walls and we have to look and say, oh, what's the belief there? I find this all the time with women. Well, wealthy people are bad.
Okay.
There are some, there are some that I really don't like. But then I have to look and say, okay, is the opposite true too? Are there wealthy people who are really doing their best? Are there, and honestly, most of the examples I find are women. I'm sure there's men as well, but there are women who are making and giving away millions of dollars a year to do good in the world.
Yeah.
Right? So we look and yes, both can be true. Well, then there's a belief here. And that belief can be changed. And then the third place I find them a lot is in past lives. So maybe you lived as a past life where you were a king and you went out and you were going to conquer another town and they wiped you out and all your people died and you said, oh, I'm never doing that again. Yeah. Right? Or you were a priestess in a temple and they came and killed everybody and knocked down the temple and you said never doing that again. And those vows made in those times of extreme pain and fear stay with us life to life. And so when we're looking at this, and I'm in the Akashic Records, we're actually asking, where are the blocks to us having more money? And we go into these spaces where it's, oh, this came from your family, or this is a society rule you've let take over. And then we can release those rules and write new rules and new beliefs for ourselves.
Yeah. I think vow breaks are essential on so many levels. So I love that that's a part of your work. Thank you. I want to ask, one of the things that I've seen both in men and women, but definitely predominantly women, is that their self-esteem and self-worth is tied to money, and they don't feel like they deserve to have money or to receive payment. I mean, you hear all the time, especially in the energy fields, um, I mean, as a way of receiving income, people undercharge or they give it away for free. And so would you speak a little bit to that? Because I think for me, I've always felt that self-worth is the greatest pandemic that is occurring on the planet. And certainly money plays a role in that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of stories that we get told that become money codes for us as women.
Yeah.
Number one, how long have we been looking at STEM programs in school, right? And why do we have STEM programs for girls? Because girls aren't good at science and math. Now, the STEM program is meant to, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because it's really meant to change how many women go into science and math. But the story is not enough women in science and math. Women aren't good at math. And so we get that from the time we start school. Girls are not good at math. Girls are not good at math. Money is math. Oh, I'm not good at that. And then the other place this comes from, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Well, so we start with that story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get the story that someone else is always better at it than us.
Yeah.
Again, we learned this in school. We are graded on a curve.
Yeah.
And if you're not the top of the curve, someone's always better than you. And that embeds into everything we do.
Yeah.
Someone's better. Now, what happens if you're at the top of the curve? You always have to fight to stay there. You don't get to just be you. You have to fight to stay at the top of the curve. And that one time you get a B, it's devastating because your whole survival is predicated upon you being top of the curve.
Yeah.
And so we come into this in our business and we think, oh, there's always somebody better than me. I better lower my prices. The other place this comes from is we are told that our spiritual gifts come from God, and therefore, how dare we charge for them?
Yeah.
I hear that all the time too. Or I need to keep my price low so everybody can take advantage. No, no, you don't. You have to make your prices high enough to stay in business.
Yeah.
McDonald's is not pricing low because they want everybody to be able to get a Big Mac. They are pricing low because their product is not.
Isn't food. That's the bottom
Isn't
line.
food. Good way of saying it.
Yeah, it's not.
And yes, I buy my grandkids McDonald's sometimes, but you know what? I'm a grandma. Right? And your gifts, you were given your gifts so that you could build a juicy life. You are meant to be abundant here, to have this juicy, vibrant, exciting life.
Yeah.
And you were given gifts to support that. And the more you make, the more you can spread your gifts in the world. And the more you can support causes you believe in. I think it's imperative for us to make more money.
Yeah, I agree. And And there's always been a disparity in wealth between men and women, for sure. Although I will acknowledge that there are many men that have programs that limit their income potential as well. Yeah. So I think what I'm hearing you say is to do the inner work, to understand what is your limiting belief.
Yeah. And you said in my introduction that I weave the masculine and the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, when I work with clients, not only are we doing the inner work, but we're doing an inflow outflow plan, or what some people call budget. They hate that. We are, tracking money. We are looking at profit and loss. We are doing the marketing steps. It's not all about doing the inner work. But if you don't do the inner work first, if you don't clear this stuff, you're going to end up banging your head against a wall over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the breadcrumbs show up in the results. And then you go back and you go, okay, I'm having this result. Instead of trying to figure it out, let's go ask your highest self. Let's go ask the energy of money.
Yeah.
Why is the result not what I wanted? Is there a belief that I need to change? Is there a rule that I can rewrite for myself?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I agree. It's not either or, it's both. And that,
Yes.
yeah, that's the marriage of the divine feminine. So talk to us a little bit about, and hang on, I just want to go back because you touched on something that I'm actually working with a group of women to eradicate this, the competition versus collaboration. Um, the only person, and we hear this, this has been out for years, the only person you're in competition with is yourself. But to really embody it, I think takes everything to the next level because you have to be secure and confident in yourself to be able to say,
So hard.
yeah,
So hard. Remember, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. Like, if there was a pizza, you were in competition for every slice.
yeah, yeah,
um, and women are not designed to be in competition,
right,
right? We are designed to work collaboratively. Early tribes, the women worked collaboratively for the good of the tribe all the time. We are biologically designed for it.
yeah,
And society keeps us under control by putting us in competition with each other.
yeah, agreed. So talk to me about the divine feminine playing a role in abundance.
Yeah. Um, so I actually, like, they're here, the goddesses are here, the energy is here now. And they're all chattering away about this because they're like, me, talk.
Yeah,
Part of, we go back to who we are as women. We are magic. Like, our freaking bodies are magic. We give birth,
yeah,
we create new life. And for a long time, in order to control that and to keep our magic small and controllable, the masculine, the patriarchy rose up with the masculine being way more important. And when we go into business, when we go through school, the masculine principles are what count. Like, we are taught there's no crying in the boardroom.
right,
Tears are such a valuable thing. So when we start to tap into the divine she, when we start to tap into goddess energy, it's really different because she says, slow down. She says, let me reveal myself piece by piece, right? It's I don't want to say softer because that's not quite it. It's a different kind of energy. I mean, there is nothing soft in Kali energy, right? But it is well rounded in all the aspects of us. All the essences. I work with this great photographer who talks about what essence are you carrying today.
Yeah.
And sometimes that essence is that Kali energy, which is angry and righteously angry. I think we have room for some righteous anger right now that will stand up and will say, I will burn down a system that does not support all people. We have room for some green Terra energy that says, we need to have compassion, and let me bring that compassion.
Yeah.
And when it comes to money, all of these energies are really, well, we have to talk about Abundancia, who like literally goes around pouring wealth into the world, right? Because she works with that energy of money. She works with that energy of abundance and bringing abundance to us. And the goddess energy right now on the planet is really strongly calling for, how do all of these energies work together for the highest and best good, instead of working apart? And the goddesses don't fight among themselves. And this is the pattern for us as women. Some step forward, some step back. It's like, whose energy is most needed right now? Who needs our love the most? Who needs our devotion? And this is groups of women who are really working well, are in that space of, where do I step forward and ask for my needs to be met? And where do I step back and allow someone else to move forward? And it's not a competition. Your clients are your clients. My clients are my clients.
Yeah.
Right. And when I land in that place of being in collaboration with other women, like doing a podcast, being in collaboration with other women can support us all. The energy we bring to the planet is much different. And eventually there's a tipping point where we can stop looking at you as the enemy taking my clients or my money or my land or whatever, and come back to, how can we all be for the highest and best good? And you got to remember that as women, we have had that experience of, that was half of what the witch trials in Europe were about, was taking wealthy women's property away from them. So we've had this experience of not trusting our sisters who were going to accuse us of witchcraft and get us burned at the stake, of not trusting the men. And we have to do that healing work, and we do it through the divine feminine.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the aligned masculine, because as you said earlier, this is a dance. It's not either or. There needs to be complementary energy. We need the collaboration, cooperation, compassion, kindness of the divine feminine. And then we also need a bit of the electrical structure of the divine masculine. So talk about how that, the interplay as it relates to money.
I love this.
And I want to back up. I want to say not only money, but abundance in totality. Because I think money is a singular form of abundance. Would you agree?
Yeah, money is part of it. Money, money funds it. But, being able to walk out my back door and be in nature is also abundant.
Yeah.
Right. To go walk the hills and say to the coyote, I see you over there. You stay there, I'll stay here. Right. That's abundance.
Yeah.
So,
and abundance is also, I have a need that I want to meet. I want to fulfill this need. And it's not always money that fulfills it, whether it's
Right.
food or whatever it is. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The masculine and the feminine. Um, to start with, we need to understand that those are vibrations. Those are energies that exist in all of us. We all have some masculine. We all have some feminine.
Yeah.
When we are in lower energy masculine, that is bully energy.
Yeah.
And it looks like this. I'm on my computer. My back is aching. I've been working since 8 a.m. It is now 7 p.m. and I haven't stopped to eat. That is bully energy, and we bully ourselves. And when I was first in business, I was told that's what I needed to do to succeed.
Yeah.
Lower energy feminine is manipulative. She finds ways to get what she wants by manipulating other people.
Yeah.
Right? Higher energy feminine is collaborative, creative, finds solutions to problems that sometimes we didn't even know existed. She is connected to source and other beings, including other humans, trees, animals, plants. She's just connected. Higher energy masculine is designed to support the creativity of higher energy feminine. And so the feminine says, I want to create this new program. And the masculine comes in and instead of bullying through it, says, how can I support you? What physically needs to be done? Do we need to do a webinar? Do we need to write some marketing? And gives that energy. And as the two dance together, and the feminine rises, the masculine rises too. And the energy that comes from that marriage stops being the bully, push, grind energy that we are told we have to be successful in business. And it builds from within. It builds from your connection to source. It builds from the excitement about the idea until your masculine has to take action.
Yeah.
I have to make that phone call and invite people. I can't not do. Right. And that translates into marketing that feels exciting to people. If you're putting out marketing because you're grinding away at 8 p.m., people are going to read it and they're going to feel that energy of, ugh, I don't want to be part of this program and grind away. If you put it out there because you're super excited, that energy gets translated into the marketing and people are like, I want to know more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the masculine is really designed to support the feminine. You've got to have that spark first.
Yeah.
Or else you're just on a hamster wheel.
I've always felt like the fuel for abundance is emotions, is that excitement, is that love that infuses the masculine action. And when they're combined, that dynamic force is unstoppable. Because
Yeah.
as you said, people can feel you. And if they
Yeah.
can't connect to you, they're not going to engage.
When we're talking about marketing, the first thing people buy from their hearts.
Yeah.
And so we really have to have that emotion, that spark. But the second part, and people get one or the other most of the time. The second part is they justify it. They write the check from their heads, from their masculine. So you have to get the emotion in there and that spark and your excitement. And then we can go to the ROI.
Yeah.
So people feel you, they want to be in your presence. And then you can say, and hey, here's the tangible results you'll get. So that the masculine and the feminine are both on board. Yeah. And when you can put the masculine and the feminine together, and so many, spiritual people have a hard time with that second part. Have a really hard time with tangible results. It's hard to tell somebody why they need to change their life.
Yeah.
But both of those are so important. And that's where you're bringing in both your masculine and your feminine.
Yeah.
Because the
Well said.
masculine can think through what's the ROI, what's the return on investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well stated. Thank you, Julie. Is there anything else you want to share before we start wrapping up? I know
Ooh,
it.
you want me to share from money? Let
Yeah.
me ask.
Okay.
Um, so money is saying that the state of the world today, um, the way we look at money is shifting, and we get to choose. We get to choose how we want to look. And it said the framework. So really dollar bills and credit cards is just the framework for this energy of appreciation to flow. And the framework may change. And I think it probably is changing. They're
Yeah.
saying just look at pennies. They're getting rid of pennies. Like a little bit of me is not valuable. Money's a little indignant about the penny thing. Like
Mm.
every bit of me is important. Yes, every bit of money is important. So it's really important for us as leaders, as creatrixes, in creating the new ways that are going to be breaking through. It's really important for us to have a relationship with money. And so money is asking everyone to understand that it wants to be used in the highest and best good. Part of that is helping you to do your soul work. Part of you it's just helping you to live this really amazing life so that
Yeah.
you vibrate higher. And part of it is in you being able to support the causes you believed in. Money loves you. Money wants to be with you. Money is asking you to do the exploration, to do the work. You know, I do it through Akashic Records, I do it through readings, but however it comes to you, do the work so that you can allow more money to flow through you. And that would
Mhm.
be money's message today.
And what does it mean by do the work? Uh, Clarify that.
So the first thing would be simply an acknowledgement that money is energy,
Yeah.
the energy of appreciation. And now I'm getting practical things. The second thing is when you spend money, put love into it. Like we can actually write a check and put love into it. And then everybody who handles that money for the next 13 generations, 13 swishes of money is going to get a little hit of some energetic love.
Yeah.
Track your money. Like give it acknowledgement. Don't ignore it. Do you know how many women don't even know what's in their checking account?
Yeah.
Acknowledge it, give it, like, be grateful. And maybe it's not as much as you want, but be grateful for the bit that you have, and
Right.
money will respond to that and grow. And then if you find yourself coming up to those blocks, if you keep hitting a wall, find a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a healer, someone who can help you to discover where the block is and where it's coming from. What are the codes, the beliefs, the rules that you are unconsciously living? And then
Yeah.
to remove, change, and rewrite those rules so that you can have the relationship with money that brings you abundance, that funds a really juicy life and funds your ministry. And they're specifically using the word ministry. Your soul work is a ministry that needs
Mhm.
funding.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you for clarifying that because I think people need implicit permission to enter into that relationship and to understand that there are easily accessible tools. This isn't hard to access. And to your point, finding a guide, finding a mentor, we're not meant to do this by ourselves. We're just not.
Yeah.
Can I share a little money practice that I have?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Anytime I find money on the ground, I pick it up and I say, thank you so much. I live in abundance. And whether I picked up a dime a couple of days ago or a penny or whatever it is, I don't walk by it because I don't want money to know that I'm ignoring it and that I don't value it. It's a small thing, but I think it makes a difference for me.
It's a powerful, powerful practice. I do the same thing. When I first was dating my husband, I didn't know this. He would go sprinkle change on the sidewalk in front of our house so I could find it. Because he
That's
saw me
so
always
great.
picking it up. And when I pick it up, I always say, I am so grateful and happy now for all the abundance I have and all the abundance that's coming. So I
Yeah.
have the same kind of practice as you. I think it's super powerful.
Yeah.
And it again, it focuses your energy on gratitude and joy, and that brings more.
Yeah. I agree. It focuses you on what you want as opposed
Yes,
to giving space to what belief is holding you back from that.
I love that.
So please tell us where everyone can find you, all the places, and we'll of course have it in the show notes.
Okay, cool. Big breath. First of all, we have a public Facebook page where we do lots of fun money stuff. We're getting ready to launch our courting money. I don't know when this is going to air, but we're going to do a free courting money thing and a couple of free money master classes coming up at the end of the year. So that would be Feminine Business Magic on Facebook. You can join us there. You can follow my Substack. Julie Foucht Coaching on Substack. We're just starting to build there, so I'd love more followers there. Um, and if you are a witchpreneur or a magic feminine creatrix, then I would invite you to take the Witchpreneur quiz, which is just 7 simple questions that talk about some unique ways for you to actually build money and create more money, and kind of some of the things that may stop you and some of the things that um, some of the different ways, because you know what, we can't just do it the formula guru way.
Yeah.
Women are not designed that way. So
Yeah.
let's figure out what works for you and get more money in your pocket.
I love that. That's perfect. And thank you for, there's a generosity and collaborative spirit that comes from offering free opportunities for people to step into what's possible for them in their relationship with money. So thank you for doing that. And here's to changing the world.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you again very, very soon. I love you very much.